'Tis the season for some festive fun.
Christmas!
We're hitting the road for some of the best holiday experiences the South has to offer.
Give it up for Molly, everybody!
We'll roll into Charlotte for a speedway drive through millions of Christmas lights.
Wow, look at this!
We'll head for Dollywood to make our own ornaments and sample some delicious desserts.
That is so good.
And we'll visit Atlanta, Georgia, where a decades-old holiday tradition involves riding a pig. And along the way, we may even have a special meeting with a certain jolly old elf. So come join this holiday adventure as we start the Southern Weekend.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Southern Weekend. I'm Molly McKinney. We are taking a holiday road trip across the South, and we're kicking it off at a place known worldwide for doing Christmas right, Dollywood. Wes?
Yes.
Molly.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
Welcome to
meet
Dollywood.
you. Gosh, you all are decked out for the holidays, I tell you what.
We definitely do Christmas right, and you see that as soon as you walk through the gate.
How many Christmas lights do you have here?
4 million. They start putting them up in July. Can you
4
believe that?
million?
I know, it's amazing.
How long does it take them to put them up?
Well, they'll start in July and they'll work around the clock until we open this festival in November. So, you know, it's amazing the amount of effort and detail they put into these lights.
Holy cow, how long has this been going on here at Dollywood?
So Smoky Mountain Christmas actually began in 1990. So it's been going on, it kind of helps kick off Winterfest to Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, and Gatlinburg. And it grows every year. We've added new shows this year, a new parade, a lot of excitement just to get everybody in the holiday spirit.
How big is the park?
So the park is about 150 acres. So, you know, we've got amazing roller coasters. We've got great shows, 8-time winner for best shows of any theme park in the world. We've got great food, and the atmosphere is truly Southern. You know, every smile you see is very welcoming.
So what all am I going to get to do today?
So we're going to start you off by taking you to our master craftsman in blown glass, and you're going to make your own Christmas ornament, which you can put on your Christmas tree.
Oh,
and then I've got a few other surprises lined up for you throughout the day. So, you know, the sun's starting to go down. These lights are going to pop and be amazing very soon, so we better get started.
I can't wait to see them.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Hello,
You must be Chris.
I am. It's good to meet you. You're
nice
Molly.
to meet you, Molly. There's a lot going on here, Chris. Describe this shop to me.
Well, this is our kitchen. This is where we cook, more or less. It's called the Hot Shop. It's set up a very certain way. We want to move from the left to the right as we start the piece to the end of the piece. So what you need to do is grab one of those mouthpieces.
Okay, thank you
You want
for
to put
this.
that right in there.
Okay.
Now, first thing we want to do is choose colors. What's your favorite color? What kind of colors do you like?
We can do a festive color. Let's be festive, Chris.
Cool. Very
Let's
good.
do it.
Now, you're of course going to blow into that.
Okay.
There's lots of different ways to make the ornament, but what you want to remember is that when it's really hot, when we're actually making it, the glass is really soft. You don't have to blow very hard. It's almost like blowing up bubble gum. Now, as it cools off, which it does so really fast, you have to blow a little bit harder, but I'll let you know how hard to blow, when to start, when to stop. The whole thing
Okay.
will be really fast. So we're gonna get some glass out of the furnace here. Inside the furnace, there's a big bowl. We call it a crucible. And the furnace has to be really hot to get the glass molten. So this is 2100 degrees. Now at that temperature, it's a lot like honey. So we've got to keep it moving once we get it on the pipe. It'll just drip off if we stop turning it. Now all these little pieces of glass are gonna stick right to it when we touch it. We're gonna melt this color on there using what we call the glory hole. And this is where we come to do what we call a reheat. And we'll have to do that every so often, usually within about a minute if we're making a much longer piece. Ornaments are great because you really want to just heat it once and do all you can to finish it off with just one little heat.
So the surface wouldn't be smooth?
Yeah, it'll be smooth to a point. Now when we start blowing it up, the glass will get a little bit bigger, including the little pieces of color. So remember, when you start blowing, start off really soft, otherwise
Okay,
we'll
is it
get
time?
really big really fast. Nice and easy, and just keep blowing. Want to get it slowly bigger, you're doing great. Start to blow a little bit harder now. Get it bigger, stop for a second. Now it's still really hot, you know, I could squeeze it and it would flatten it out. We want to get it a little bit harder and go ahead and blow really hard this time. Keep blowing, keep blowing, keep blowing, stop. Okay. Now some of the colors turn a little bit dark when it gets really hot.
So they might
but
lighten as it dries.
they will lighten. The glass is pretty dry right now because it's still over 1,000 degrees. So
Because it's probably
You gotta
pretty easy
practice.
to shatter it like that.
ornaments are
Get it
actually
attached.
really, really hard to break. All the handmade ornaments are actually a little bit thicker than the ones you would get in the store that are machine made. So they're a little heftier. And once we actually put the loop on, there's no opening to the ornament at all. It's completely sealed up. Now, because we work really hot and the glass is still about 1,000 degrees, so the loop will be cold enough to actually use to pick it up with in about 10 seconds. So
You make that look
you can
real
break them,
easy.
but it's pretty hard to do. Now, the only rule we have here at the glass shop is never, ever, no matter what, touch the glass because it's still over 1,000
Copy
degrees.
that.
Looks like a kaleidoscope. I
That's
was
the
expecting
multi.
it to just swirl around, but
No,
it really
the colors won't mix together.
separates.
They won't mix together.
That's
It's like a little
beautiful.
stained glass window. Now, because it's 1,000 degrees and we're out here in the open, it's cooling off really, really fast. Glass doesn't like to do that. So we're gonna put it into an oven that we call the Lear. The Lear is about 900 degrees. It's designed to cool down really slow, and that helps the glass out. The slower you go, the more stress relieves from the glass. Now, if we had just left it in that cup or left it on the end of this stick, it would have actually cracked all by itself within just a couple of minutes.
And how
We do
long
that
does it
with
stay in the
everything.
oven for?
Usually we leave it overnight. The oven takes anywhere from 12 to 15, sometimes 20 hours just to cool down. So this is an ornament just like the one that we made. We call it a multi-mix. You can see how the red changed, how it really became
It does
vibrant.
change.
And this will stay that way forever. It's not gonna change in color. The glass doesn't fade or degrade or anything like that. It's one of the toughest materials on earth.
And I
you
can take this one?
You can.
Thank
You can
you
take
so
that one. You can feel the weight.
I
You know,
can.
It's pretty good.
I can't wait to put this on my tree.
Good.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Still to come, do you ever feel like you're juggling a lot during the holiday season?
Give it up for Molly, everybody.
And later, who needs a sled and reindeer when you can ride in one of these? We'll race through an amazing light show as the Southern Weekend continues.
Welcome back to the Southern Weekend. Our holiday-themed road trip has taken us to Dollywood, where I had been promised surprises, and that's just what I was about to get. That's quite the outfit.
Oh yeah, feeling very festive.
I could never do that. I don't know how you do that.
It's just a Christmas wish, and then you can learn how to juggle.
I don't think any Christmas wish can save my juggling skills.
You know what? I could probably save your juggling skills though, because
Okay.
I could teach you how to juggle. It would be really simple.
I don't know.
No, don't worry about it. You're here to have fun, right?
Yeah?
Okay, well this is gonna be a lot of fun, all right?
Okay.
So I have here some juggling balls,
Okay.
and you can have one of them.
I could
And-
probably juggle this.
Yeah, but you're gonna juggle with me.
Okay.
And then we're gonna do a show for all these people.
Oh gosh, don't even.
Don't worry,
I'm
it's gonna be fine. Remember, Christmas wish. You ready? All right, just a little practice run. It's gonna be 2 throws, okay?
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2. Perfect. Yeah, not bad, guys, right? All right, let's try to just keep it going. Hey, give it up for Molly, everybody. She's doing all right, isn't she?
Thank you. I
Congratulations.
appreciate it. Thank you. I'll let you continue. I'll keep my
problem.
day job. Elaine, the smell in here is divine.
Thank you.
I don't even know if we need to eat it. I think
Wow.
I could just smell it and be happy.
You have to eat it. Okay. You have to eat it because you got to tell how good it is.
Well, walk me through the process of this
Okay.
delicious bread that you all make.
I take the bread
Okay.
and we cut it in half and then we score it 4 times.
So score means not cutting all the way through.
Right. Okay, now we do this, we stretch it a little and we dip it just like that. And this is a butter and margarine.
Okay.
We make sure that all this nice cinnamon and sugar that we're mixing, and it's just white sugar and cinnamon.
Okay.
And then we go like this, we lay it out, and we make sure we get it in every crack. Just jab it in there.
Not a dainty
Yep.
job here.
And then we do that, and
Okay.
then we pick this up, and we put it in the pan,
Oh.
just like that. Would you like to try this one?
Okay, I'm auditioning for the job role
Okay.
now, huh? So stretch it out.
Yes. Nice and buttery. And then
Okay.
we lay it in there,
Okay.
and you just jab it. Yes. Push down. And now you put it on this paper, and you just made cinnamon bread.
Man, that's fast. How many of these can you crank out in one day?
Well, on a slow day, we do anywhere from 800 to 1,000, and on a busy day, we do more.
So these are ready to go. How long do we bake them for?
Okay, we bake them for 32 minutes in the oven.
Okay.
And then when it comes out, it's really nice and hot. And I would love for you to try.
I mean, I think we need to know.
Yes, I think so.
We need them. We need to test them and make sure they're safe to sell.
And I'll put it on there for you.
They look like massive
And would
bear
you like
claws
to
or
try
apple
our apple
turnovers.
butter? And
I'll try whatever you tell me to try. Do I eat it with my hands?
five.
Gosh, look at that. Yum. I'm a big texture eater, so I'm sure this is so good. Wow. Oh my gosh. This is the best bread I've ever had. Oh my gosh, that is so good. I'm gonna sit and eat this whole thing now. This might be my new favorite dessert. I never really think of bread as being something I would crave as a dessert, and Dollywood has changed me. So I can take all these home?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Molly, tell me what you think.
I mean, this is a completely different park by nighttime.
We tell people that, and if you've not experienced it before, once you see it, it makes complete sense.
You have to come here to believe it.
Okay, so I've got one more surprise for you.
Okay.
We're going to go check out the brand new Parade of Many Colors. So come
I
on.
don't know what that means.
Let's do it.
Parade? Where are we?
So we are in the staging area for the Parade of Many Colors, which is brand new this season at Dollywood. And as you can see, there's a lot of fun stuff. We've got giant candy canes and mice driving cheese. I mean, giant gingerbread men. You really cannot beat this.
You guys look great.
So this parade takes place each evening at 8 p.m.
Okay.
And as you can see, it's a very exciting experience for our guests to see this as it moves through the park. So we'll head on out and you can experience the whole parade.
Christmas. Merry Christmas. Shortly after we visited Dollywood, the East Tennessee area was hit by devastating wildfires, tragically resulting in the loss of lives and property. Dollywood has reopened, but there are people in the area who need your help. If you'd like to give to the recovery effort, Dolly Parton and Dollywood have set up their own fund at dollywoodfoundation.org, or please consider making a donation to the American Red Cross. We'll be right back. Summertime at Charlotte Motor Speedway is all about turning left and going fast, with cars racing around the track at speeds over 200 miles per hour. But when the holiday season rolls around and the temperatures drop, the pace changes a little bit here, and we focus on slowing down and enjoying the lights.
Hi.
You must be Scott. That's quite the festive ride there, Scott.
I don't get to drive this every day, but when I do, it's a lot of fun. How are you doing, Molly?
Molly, nice
Good
to
see
meet you. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Well, you're welcome. Welcome to Charlotte Motor Speedway.
I've never been to this event before.
Well, this is a little unique and different. Normally, people think about us for NASCAR races.
Yes.
But we like to get people in the holiday spirit.
How long has this festival been going on?
This is actually our 7th year, and we've had a chance to change up the show over the years, and we think this year we've got our best show ever.
And it's right in the middle of the racetrack?
It is on the racetrack, it is in the middle of the racetrack, in the infield, in the garages. It's a lot of fun.
I can't wait. So we drive it, right?
Yes, you actually get to drive on the track for about a mile out of the mile and a half.
You get to drive on a racetrack
of the
with your
Super
personal
Speedway.
car.
It's very cool. We've got giant movies in our Speedway TV. We've got photos with Santa. We've got a petting zoo. Lots of fun for you to have tonight.
So I'll go get my car, I guess,
Actually,
and I can follow you.
I'm going to let you take this car.
This car? Is this the base car?
As long as
you trust me to drive
As long
the
as you
base car?
keep it under 200, we'll see what you can do. Okay?
I think I can try.
Great.
Will you ride with me then?
Yes, I will be your tour guide.
Okay. I guess you're a brave man.
We'll go see if we can find Santa Claus.
You're probably going to want to buckle up.
Let's do it.
So walk me through all the different things that people can experience at the festival here.
There's so much to do, but the big highlight, of course, is the lights. We've got hundreds of displays. As you can tell, we've got them not only outside the track, but the real cool stuff happens when you get inside the track. We've got more than 3 million lights.
Did someone have to count those?
Our operations crew spend about 34, 35 days building this show and putting it all together. It really takes in all over 3,700 man and woman hours.
Now this is an entrance. Holy cow, this is crazy. I can't believe we're driving on the racetrack right now.
Just think, right now, you're on the same racetrack that Dale Earnhardt, Richard Petty,
so
Jimmy Johnson,
surreal.
some of the most famous drivers in NASCAR, you're in the same tire tracks. We're on the backstretch right now where during a NASCAR race, the cars are topping out at better than 200 miles per hour.
I'm going too. I mean, how big is that one? It's gotta be huge.
The SS Santa, which you can tell right there, is
Santa.
actually 35 feet tall, so it's about 3.5 stories high. This is actually one of my favorite parts. This light tunnel has 1,100 different strands of lights.
Wow, look at this.
And they are about 25 feet tall.
I want this in my driveway. Some of these are hysterical.
Well, we like to do something a little unique and different. Santa Claus
Santa's
riding
way
whales.
This is a riot.
Okay, Molly, check this out. This is my favorite part of the show because the lights are synced to the music. Isn't that cool?
This is the coolest experience.
Still to come, what's a camel doing inside a motor speedway? And you know who is making a list and checking it twice. And I might be in trouble.
You're kind of on the borderline.
That and more when the Southern Weekend continues. If you want to see more from any of our road trips, check out thesouthernweekend.com. You'll find videos of our adventures across the South, as well as great tips and recipes. All that and more, anytime you want it, at thesouthernweekend.com.
It's like Christmas
Smells
in here,
good too,
and it
doesn't
smells
it?
real good.
I think we need to go see Santa Claus. What do you think?
Santa's in here?
Yeah.
Hi, Santa. This is very nice of you to make time to visit the Speedway. You're pretty busy this time of year.
Absolutely. I'm so busy, it's hard to keep up.
It's rare that Santa's at a racetrack. I have some race questions for you. What do you think is faster, your sleigh or a stock car?
My sleigh, of course, because I can go around the world in 24 hours.
Well, you have reindeer to help. Which do you think is stronger, reindeer power or horsepower?
Reindeer power.
Which race car driver has Santa on their side? Who's your favorite?
I like Tony Stewart because he's got gumption. He really charges, and that's why I got my reindeers to charge out.
Last question, am I on your nice list or your naughty list?
Molly, we might need to sit down and have a talk about that because you're kind of on the borderline.
All right, well, I have a couple weeks to get my act together.
Get your act together.
Thank you, Santa. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
All right, let's go check out the petting zoo.
Yes. Oh, you have so many different ones, too.
Isn't this cool?
I know. What are you getting at down there? You're so little. Hi. Was that good? Do you want some more?
First time you fed a camel?
It is. I didn't know I'd have to come to Charlotte Motor Speedway to feed a camel for the first time. It was so much fun.
Let's go check out some more Christmas lights.
Perfect.
Now we're about to come down the home stretch.
Wow, look at this.
This is our infield tunnel that the haulers come through when they come in for NASCAR week. Certainly doesn't look like this during race time.
So fans really don't get a chance to drive through this tunnel during the season.
No, this is a very rare part for the fans to come to, and they certainly don't see it with thousands of Christmas lights.
Oh, I don't want it to end. This was so much fun.
Well, this is the grand finale as we go through this final tunnel. You feel like you've been through 3 million Christmas lights?
Yeah, you all have put in so much work. It's really, really neat to be able to see this.
Well, it is something unique. It's something different. If that's what people can take away, puts them in the holiday spirit, makes them feel good,
then it's all worth it.
It is all worth it.
What a delightful evening, Scott.
That was fun, wasn't it?
That was so much fun. Thank you so much for taking the time to show me around.
You're very welcome. Good to have you in the Southern weekend here for a little Southern hospitality. Now you've seen the Speedway in a whole new light.
Oh, pun intended. You planned
Pun
that.
intended.
You've been waiting all day to say
Absolutely.
that. Well, I hate to part with the pace car. I really got attached to this girl, but I know I need to go.
If you come back for Speedway Christmas, we'll loan you the car again. And in the meantime, Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Still to come on our Southern Weekend holiday road trip, this time of year is all about finding presents. So what are we doing searching for mice? And later, forget the reindeer and think pink, as in pigs. One of the South's most unusual holiday traditions when the Southern Weekend continues.
Welcome back to the Southern Weekend. I'm Molly McKinney. The holiday season means food, family, and quite often travel, something we know all about. We recently spent a day exploring Greenville, South Carolina, a city with a vibrant downtown that's a destination for locals and tourists alike. And our first stop was getting some coffee. A friend of mine told me that we had to stop at Coffee Underground if we were in Greenville, but I didn't actually expect us to be underground. I thought it was just a clever branded name.
It is literally underground. We really used it as a positive rather than a negative feature. But it works out because it absorbs sound really well, so it stays cozy. And you just feel at home in a little nook and cranny in the corner.
You all attract so many walks of life coming through here. Everybody loves coffee. How does your atmosphere change over the course of the day?
It really is like several different places throughout the day. We have business meetings, romances, a few breakups. We've seen some funny breakups.
Oh gosh, I can't even imagine.
Families and friends, you know, in the afternoon, it's more casual hangout. And so we have a big cafe room. We also have a theater performance room. When we first opened, we showed indie films, but they're live comedy shows and improv comedy and poetry, and then the occasional movie here and there.
Why do you think the Greenville rebirth has worked so well here in this city?
This city offers a little bit of everything. You can go to the mountains, we have a river running down the center, and the baseball field. There's just so much to do.
Well, I finished my coffee. This was so much fun. Thank you so
Good.
much.
I'm glad you had a good time.
Told I'm supposed to go count some mice.
Oh yeah.
I don't know
All
what
the
that's
mice.
about.
Just look at the top of the steps because there's a cute little Marvin Jr.
Oh, okay.
waiting to say hello to you.
Well, thank you so much. I'll see you
You're
later.
welcome. Have a good day.
This is my first time visiting Greenville, and sometimes it can be a little overwhelming exploring a city by yourself for the first time. So I love that you all created a way that people can explore the city with Mice on Main of any age group, really.
Yeah, well, first of all, welcome to Greenville, Molly.
Thank you.
You know, Mice on Main is a unique way to experience the downtown area of Greenville. Basically, it's a scavenger hunt that extends 5 blocks along downtown. And if you take the tour and follow the hints and find all the different mice, you'll have pretty much seen a good part of downtown Greenville.
It's so smart of the city to do this.
Well, you know, it actually wasn't the city's idea. It was the idea of a high school student. He was a senior in high school in 2000.
Really?
And that's right. His name was Jimmy Ryan, and he thought that it would be a really fun idea to have a public art project that children could do this scavenger hunt. And so local sculptor Zan Wells sculpted these 9 different little mice, and they each have their own individual personality. And then the city located them throughout downtown, and they sort of created a story about the mice and a scavenger hunt associated with the mice. So you can follow from place to place and learn about, you know, the mice and who they are, and also you learn a little bit about Greenville.
Greenville's been on a lot of tourism radars lately. It's a very trendy city to come visit now. But was that the result of an overnight change? What was it that caused Greenville to really go through a rebirth?
You know, it was really part of a master plan that the city's come up with and that the city has been working on for the last 20 or 25 years. And it's really designed to make the city explicitly feel like we think it should, which is a fun place and a beautiful place. You know, we have a very pedestrian-friendly downtown. We have a beautiful Falls Park and the bridge and the art there. You know, and so really the infrastructure gives the people the ability to kind of interact in these beautiful environments. And we also want to educate and inspire all of our citizens. And really also we want to say authentically what Greenville is. And this project really does all those things.
Well, I'm
So-
about to go experience some myself firsthand.
Well, I hope you have a great time on the Mice on Main tour of Greenville, and you never know who you'll run into on the tour.
Miss Linda Kelly.
Yes.
It's nice to meet you.
How are you?
I'm good.
I'm glad to see you.
This is so crazy. We're in the middle of a city doing a scavenger hunt.
I know it.
No,
It is
nice.
crazy busy. This is Maggie, and Maggie is mother. And she's very concerned that her mice are not safe in downtown. And her children are not the least bit concerned. They're so excited to be downtown in Greenville, and they've found places that suit them. They are placed in on different sides of the road, and she's right here so she can see them.
I love the story that you came up with.
Thank you.
Because the
Thank
mice
you.
were here for a while before you wrote the book.
Yes, the mice were here from the year 2000, and I came with my granddaughter to find the mice like other people do, and we found all the mice, and we were walking back up Main Street. My granddaughter Sarah said, "Is there a story about these mice?" And I said, "Well, there's Goodnight Moon," and she said, "I know Goodnight Moon. It hasn't got anything to do with these mice. Could you write me a story?" So I wrote her a story, and we were reading it on the bed the next time she came to visit. And my husband said, "Linda, you've done something here. You've got to do something with it. Greenville doesn't have anything like this." And so that's how I met Zan, who made the mice, and Jimmy, who came up with the idea of the mice. And Jimmy liked it well enough to stamp his stamp of approval on it.
So these are definitely city mice.
Oh, yeah.
They live in the city.
Yes. And they all are in places where they love, that suit their personalities. And what's so neat about them is that when Jimmy was a little boy, he enjoyed the book, Goodnight Moon, and from that book, he created in his imagination this scavenger hunt. And something he enjoyed when he was little has become something that other children from all over enjoy in Greenville.
How special
So,
that a
it is
moment from
special.
his childhood can serve as the platform and the foundation for so many other children to be able to enjoy this city.
That's right.
Well, I found 3 mice so far, so how
Yeah.
many do I have left?
So you have 6 left, and
6.
the most difficult one to find is teeny tiny Millie, who is way up high. So wish you
That's
much
a good
luck.
hint there.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it is.
Appreciate it.
Up next, our day in Greenville takes a tasty turn as we sample a delicious Southern staple. And later, what's dinner without dessert? One of our favorite chefs teaches us how to make an apple cobbler so incredible, your holiday guests will be asking for seconds and thirds and fourths. That and more when the Southern Weekend continues. Welcome back to the Southern Weekend. We're in Greenville, South Carolina, exploring one of the South's most vibrant downtowns, and we've worked up an appetite. Our next stop, Sobeys, to sample their version of a Southern staple.
So here at Sobeys, you all are known for what's called New South cuisine. I don't know what that means. How would you describe that?
Well, to me, Molly, it really means that it's no longer an old way of thinking where everything has to be so heavy and so fatty, and it's like this because this is the way Grandma did it, or it's kind of it's just taking an old style and it's just kind of putting our new juxtapose, our new interpretation on it, and really just making it for Greenville, making it a regional thing.
I love to cook, so I'm so interested to see how you make this dish. It's not every day you get to watch your meal get prepared before you eat it.
So what we're doing today, we have these wonderful North Carolina shrimp that we get in. They are 100% chemical free. So what that means is they come right out of the water onto the conveyor belts, and they're individually quick frozen. So there is no preservatives, there's no chemicals added to it, there's nothing that you don't want to have in your food. And you know, the thing that's most important to us at Sobeys and me as a chef is that it's coming from our local coast. So what we do is we start with our shrimp, and we have a little bit of andouille sausage. We add a blackening season to that, and then we take our shrimp shells as we are peeling all of them, and we make a shrimp stock. So we actually use this as part of our sauce. So that way everything complements each other. You know, this sauce is complementing that because it comes from the shrimp. Everything works together to make this dish. We use, and again, another local grit, locally sourced from Columbia. It is called Anson Mills. And
Is it a white grit?
It is a white grit, and we chose that grit because of its flavor, of its texture.
I need to be taking notes. I should have brought a notepad.
I'll write this all down for you.
Thank you.
We'll recap. So this is our dish, as simple as that.
Beautiful.
As simple as that, and then we're going to serve this over the same grits we just told you about.
Okay.
And then all we do is just garnish this with a little bit of scallions.
So I get to taste this now, yeah?
Absolutely. So if you want to go sit down, relax, prop your feet up, get a glass of wine, I will get this plated up for you, and I'll bring it out to you and
Is what
see you
you're
shortly.
saying. I have to
Very
wait.
shortly.
All right, I'll be there.
Thank you, Molly.
How did you get this space?
The building was built in the 1880s, and it was a cotton exchange at its very first use around the turn of the century. This was a shoe store from 1970 until we bought it in 97.
This space is so beautiful, and the food is beautiful. I just got to see Hayden preparing it, and I'm so excited to be here. I'm hungry. I've been touring Greenville all day.
Well, you've been out on the street all day, so let's get that shrimp and grits up here and enjoy some of what we created for you.
That sounds great. I'm great. Oh, speak of the devil. Man, thank
Enjoy.
you.
What do you think? Pretty good?
I'd ask you another question, but I'm too busy eating. Yeah, this is perfect. It's the perfect comfort food. I can't think of a better way to end my day. Thank you so much for being a part of it.
Cheers. Thanks for
Cheers.
visiting Greenville. Come back anytime.
Up next, what's pink, more than 70 years old, and is one of the South's most endearing holiday attractions? Come take a ride on a pig as our Southern Weekend holiday road trip rolls on.
If you want to see more from any of our road trips, check out thesouthernweekend.com. You'll find videos of our adventures across the South, as well as great tips and recipes. All that and more, anytime you want it, at thesouthernweekend.com. Welcome back to the Southern Weekend. Holiday traditions are found all over the South. There are light shows, parades, festivals of trees. But in Atlanta, Georgia, there's a very different tradition, and it's all about riding a pig.
Atlanta's holiday tradition of the pink pig originates back to the mid-1950s.
It was a children's ride. It was a monorail that literally went around the top of the toy department at Rich's department store in downtown Atlanta.
But why a pig? And why a ride?
A lot of the Rich's executives are sitting around a table trying to come up with some good ideas, brainstorming. Someone had the rights to a great cartoon character, a pig. And they thought about it, they tossed it around, and they thought, you know, this could be a good idea. So that's how the pig originated. And the Rich's executive thought this would be a great idea for the holidays.
The pink pig quickly became a hit with the kids and parents alike, and morphed and grew into something even bigger.
You had Priscilla, the pink pig, and you could tell who was Priscilla by the eyelashes. Then we had Percival, her brother. So we had the pink pig twins. And those two monorails would go out on the top of the store where we had the great tree display. So it was truly an adventuresome ride.
In the early 1990s, the tradition of the pink pig underwent a big change. Rich's downtown department store closed. Priscilla and Percival were relocated and then retired. But fans of the ride always wanted the tradition to return, and in 2003, their wishes came true.
We came up with a new design, which is now the Macy's Pink Pig, and it's a train. And every year, Priscilla comes back. Now inside the pink tent, we have one of the original cars still available to view. And what you do see throughout the season is you see the multi-generations. And you'll see the moms or the grandmoms pointing to the original monorail that we have in there and telling their kids or their grandkids, this is what we rode. It brings joy when you see this tradition and the excitement passed down from the multiple generations. You can see the pride the grandparents have. But a lot of Atlantans and their extended family make their holiday picture right here at the Pink Pig. They remember the pictures that they took when they originally rode the pig or visited the pig, so it truly becomes a tradition through the generations.
So if you're in Atlanta this holiday season, you might want to grab your own camera, think pink, and experience a truly unique Southern tradition, a ride on a pig. We've got one more holiday tip for you, and it's a tasty one. Get ready for the best apple cobbler we've ever tried when the Southern Weekend continues.
On our weekend road trips, we sample delicious food from the best chefs in the South. And one of our favorites is in Memphis, Tennessee. Felicia Willett is the owner and chef at Felicia Suzanne's. Her food is amazing, and she's going to show us how to make a delicious apple cobbler for the holidays.
Hey, it's Felicia, and we're making a great fall dessert, apple cobbler. So let's start by making the filling. So in this recipe, I'm using Granny Smith apples, but I suggest using any apples that are available locally in your area. So we've got our apple completely peeled, and then we're just gonna make slices, like so, and then we're just gonna dice the apples. Now, one little tip when you're making the apples, because they're gonna start to brown, so what I like to do is squeeze a little lemon juice over them, and this will help prevent the browning. We'll give our apples a nice little toss, like so, and now we're gonna saute them. So we're gonna turn our heat on about medium-high, and we're gonna melt this butter down. So all of our butter's melted. Now we're gonna add the apples. So you just wanna carefully add half of the apples into each saute pan. And give the apples a little stir. So we've got our apples sauteing in our butter. Now we're gonna sweeten them. I'm using 2 different sugars today. I'm gonna use a granulated sugar, and then I'm also gonna use a brown sugar. Just kind of get that all nice and mixed in. Now we're gonna season. I'm gonna use a little pinch of salt for both. We're gonna start with a little cinnamon. And what's great about this recipe is, today I prefer the cinnamon and nutmeg, but if you have a baking spice you'd like to use or add a little ginger, that's totally good. And then we're just gonna cook these down. It's gonna take about 8 to 10 minutes until the apples have softened. So while the apples are cooking, we're gonna make a slurry. And what a slurry is that I'm gonna use some cornstarch and a little bit of a liquid. The liquid I'm gonna use a dark rum. I love the flavor profile of the dark rum with the cinnamon and the nutmeg and with the sugars. I just think that it's really gonna make a very flavorful apple cobbler. So we're gonna add the cornstarch. And I'm just gonna add enough rum to sort of make this little slurry. I'm using dark rum. If you'd rather use a bourbon or just water, that's totally okay. Now we're gonna stir in the slurry. And what you're gonna see is that this mixture is gonna start to thicken immediately and make a nice pan sauce for our cobbler. And it's really quick. It's gonna take about 2 or 3 minutes to thicken this pan sauce. We're gonna add a little vanilla. After about 2 or 3 minutes, we're gonna remove them from the heat and we're gonna let them cool completely. So while our apples are cooling, let me clear these dishes and get our ingredients for our oatmeal crumble. So this crumble is really easy. I'm gonna take some oats with some flour, sweeten it with some brown sugar, and then I'm gonna work in some cold butter, and this will just make a nice crumble. So I'm using my hands, and I'm really getting the crumble all nice and mixed. So now let's assemble the cobbler. I've got my crust. We're gonna pour our apples. Using the back of the spoon, I'm just making sure that all of the apples in the pan evenly. We're gonna sprinkle the crumble over. Now we're ready to go in the oven. So we preheated our oven to 375 and we're gonna bake it for 40 minutes until it's nice and golden. So let's check on the apple cobbler. It's golden brown and looks delicious. So let's eat. We get a nice spoonful. You want to make sure that you're getting a nice amount of the crust and the crumb topping and the filling. The apples are still crunchy, but that pan sauce with the cinnamon and the nutmeg with just a little hint of the dark rum, and then the crumb topping right on top is nice, crunchy, a little bit of a crunch from the oatmeal, and then that beautiful butter, just delicious.
If you'd like to get the full recipe for Felicia's apple cobbler or other delicious dishes she makes, from bacon hot sauce deviled eggs to smoked macaroni and cheese, you can find them on our website. Just go to thesouthernweekend.com and search for Felicia.
That wraps up this Southern Weekend road trip, but we'll be back in 2017 with a new series of adventures. We'll wheel into Birmingham, Alabama to check out one of the most amazing collections of motorcycles in the world. We'll travel to Texas, where we're putting on our boots and experiencing everything from fishing to flea markets. And as always, we'll be sampling plenty of delicious food and drinks along the way. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Molly McKinney, and have a wonderful holiday season.